talking about the 42. You have an extra molar at the lower jaw of a dog. Earlier said, the dog is a carnivorous animal. The incisors are small and pointed, used for cutting pieces of meat from bone. Like I said, incisors are majorly for cutting. The canines of dog are long. They are curved and large and pointed for attack and defense. So they allow the animal to seize its prey and tear off the flesh from bones. Canine is for tearing. While the premolars and the molars have sharp knife-like hooks for crushing meat and bones in small pieces before swallowing. If you observe very well, in all the animals we dealt with an omnivore, which is a man, we dealt with rabbits, which is an herbivore, and this is a carnivore dog. You have the highest number of premolar in a dog. You have 4. In others, the maximum was 3, but here you have 4 premolars. So it tells you, since it's a carnivore, so it needs the premolar most for its operation. The last premolar in the upper jaw and the first molar in the lower jaw are large and form the carnassial teeth. The last premolar in the upper jaw and the first molar in the lower jaw form the carnassial teeth. The carnassial teeth operate in a scissors-like fashion. So they operate in a scissors-like fashion. They possess sharp cutting edges to cut off meat and tear it off from bones and for cracking of bones. So that is why you have the premolar and molar being this voluminous than when you compare to other animals. Seeing that the teeth is very important, especially in relation to feeding, and feeding is important in relation to the metabolic activity that is available to the animal, there is a need for the care of the teeth. So we talk about care for the teeth. How do you take care of your teeth? One way to care for your teeth is to remove food particles after meal. In the process of chewing, cutting, grinding, and all the activities of the teeth, there are some food particles that will not go to the esophagus or to the other part of the body. It will remain in the teeth. So you have to remove these food particles. Helps you have bacteria working on them and decaying your teeth. The next care for your teeth is to eat balanced meal containing enough calcium and phosphorus. Calcium helps the strength of bones and especially the teeth too. So eat food that contains high calcium and phosphorus and generally balanced diet. Then also eat vitamins. Eat food that has vitamins A, C, and D. Then also take sugar cane. It will help your teeth. Another way to care for your teeth is to avoid the misuse of teeth, such as you have some people open bottles of drinks with their teeth. Is a misuse and an abuse of the teeth. Use opener to open cans of things like that rather than using your teeth. Then receive regular professional counsel from a dentist. Dentists are people that are doctors of the teeth, so they are specialized in taking care of the teeth. So receive counsel and professional attention from dentists. Regularly use brush and toothpaste to clean your teeth or chewing stick. Make sure that you clean the teeth regularly, preferably twice in a day, before meal, after meal, or before going to bed. So choose your modality. Maybe you clean your teeth in the morning or after meal, then before going to bed, so that before you wake up the next morning, you don't have bulk of bacteria working on your teeth. Then rinse your mouth with saline solution after meal. By the time you rinse the mouth with saline solution, you have taken away bulk of the food particles. So the mouth is very, very uncomfortable for microorganisms to work on before you wake up the next morning. Then avoid breathing through the mouth to prevent irrigation of your gum. As much as possible, try to avoid breathing through your mouth. That is why the nose is the organ for breathing. So avoid breathing through your mouth to avoid the irrigation of your gum. Next, we move on to talk about the modification and mechanisms associated with feeding in some other animals. We talked about omnivore, herbivore, and carnivore, using man as a typology for omnivore, dog as typology for carnivore, and rabbit as a typology for herbivore. So we want to talk about other animals, especially lower animals. First, we'll be talking about the amoeba. How does amoeba feed? Amoeba feeds by injecting microorganisms such as diatoms, ciliates, and planktons. Amoeba ingests microorganisms such as diatoms, ciliates, and planktons. It envelopes the food by two pseudopodia flowing around the food particle. You know, the pseudopodia is the movement organ of the amoeba. So it just engulfs itself around the food substance. Once it locates a food particle, the amoeba forms its pseudopodia around the food. So it encloses it with a drop of water to form its food vacuole. So once there is food available and the amoeba can get a drop of water, food vacuole is formed. Within the food vacuole, digestion takes place by means of enzyme secreted into the vesicle from lysosome. We cast your mind back to the cell organelles. We said lysosomes are responsible for breaking down food substances, large molecules of food substances, into smaller ones that the animal can ingest. So this suggests the reason why you have lysosome coming in here. Digestion takes place by means of enzymes secreted into the vesicle from lysosome. Then digested food like glucose and amino acid diffuse into the surrounding cytoplasm from the body surface. So the food, after it has been broken down, the glucose and in the amino acid form, it gets diffused into the surrounding cytoplasm from the body surface. Then what happens to the undigested food? They are ingested at any point on the surface. So when you find undigested food, they are ingested from the body at any surface. So, and this process is called phagocytosis. The process in which the amoeba undergoes to get its food, digest it, is called phagocytosis. Now, the next animal we'll be talking about is Hydra. Hydra feeds mainly on small crustaceans such as butterflies, that is Daphnia, then cyclops, and small aquatic insects. Hydra feeds mainly on small crustaceans and aquatic insects that are very small. The Hydra has thousands of sting cells on its tentacles, which are of 3 types. The sting cells are of 3 types. And the first type is the coiled nematocyst, which the thread shoots out and pierces the skin and injects poisonous paralyzing fluid into the prey once the prey swims past and touches the trigger ears, also called the needle cells, on the outer part of the nematoblast. You know, the nematoblast is also called the sting cells, which are on the tentacles of Hydra. So when an insect or the prey of the Hydra just passes by and touches, you know, in the normal flying about of insect, it doesn't know, it's just doing its own normal activities, not knowing that Hydra is there, and just touches the tentacle of the Hydra or the nematoblast as the